All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Fast Cars, Fast Money, and we're breaking down Hot Atlanta. We're going to Atlanta again this weekend. It's going to be the first time NASCAR's been going back to a track that they've already previously were at earlier in the season, as long as you don't count Pocono in the doubleheader. So it's nice from a NASCAR DFS perspective because we can go back and we can look at the lap data at that Atlanta race and some other tracks that are pretty similar to Atlanta. So and then real quickly too, for the Truck Series race at Knoxville on Friday, we're not going to be putting out the video for that slate. There's only like 45 minutes between the last qualifying race and the actual green flag. So in order for us to collect our thoughts, record a video and get it out there, it would really only be relevant for maybe 10 minutes at most. So just go to our Twitter and check out our final thoughts for kind of our interest levels, but it's at Fast Cars FM. So just wanted to let everyone know no truck video this weekend, but we'll still be putting a spreadsheet out for everybody. But looking at the Xfinity race here, like I said earlier, they raced here earlier this year, so that's really helpful to go back and kind of see who ran well there, and maybe that's going to correlate to who's going to run well this weekend. It's 163 laps, so dominators are kind of going to be back in play this weekend. The last few weeks, we haven't really seen them in play, but when you're looking at lap data, you really want to look at the first Atlanta race. I would say Darlington, because that's a really high tire wear track like Atlanta is. You really have to manage your tires. And then probably Charlotte and Texas. Those are kind of the four tracks that we're looking at. And then we also have Kyle Busch again this week. So kind of our main thought process is if you play Kyle Busch, which we think that you should, you plug him in, and then it's really just finding 5 other value or place differential plays on the slate. So we'll start with you, Rich. I know I just talked about Kyle Busch, but why don't you kickstart us off here?
Yeah, obviously, when Kyle Busch is in one of the lower series races, you always got to address that. And every single time he's in one of the lower series races, you pretty much have to play him. I think there's only been maybe 2 or 3 slates in the past 2-3 years that he hasn't been optimal, or at least won the race or finished top 3. So I like Andrew said, it comes down to playing him and then trying to find some great place differential guys. And one of those guys this week is going to be Josh Berry. He's priced up a little bit this week at 10,000, but he's starting 28th in the Jordan Anderson 31 car. And we've seen him run well in this car before. Everybody that's been in this car has been running well. So he's got definitely top 15 upside, even probably close to top 10. So he's probably one of the top other 10K drivers that I would probably pair with Kyle Busch. But some of the other guys up in this range, Cindric and Allgaier. Cindric got damaged early in Atlanta, I believe, so he never – or I think that will probably lower his ownership a little bit, and plus Kyle Busch is in here. So if you're going to fade Kyle Busch, I would look at either Austin Cindric or Allgaier, because those are the 2 guys that we think have the probably the best opportunity to fight Kyle Busch for the laps led and dominator points and even the win this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rich pretty much hit that. I think his category is pretty straightforward. Pretty much play Kyle Busch. If you can get Josh Berry with him for the PD, do, and then fill it in with guys below him. But, like Rich said, just Cindric and Allgaier. Probably not going to have him in my main line, but if you're playing multiple lines, it'd be good pivots off of Kyle Busch to kind of get some different exposure. And, if in case Kyle Busch wrecks out or something, or gets damaged and kind of just can't do what he's supposed to do. But he starts on the front, and I don't really see him giving that up other than maybe through like a pit cycle or something.
Yeah, you got to play that narrative out in your head. So if you're playing Kyle Busch, you're assuming that he's going to go out there, he's going to lead a bulk of this race. He's just going to flat out dominate. So if he's picking up all those dominator points, you have to find other ways in your line to score additional points. And the 2 ways to do that are going to be through place differential and finishing potential. So like Rich and Kev were saying, Josh Berry, if you can pair him with Kyle Busch, it might get a little bit tough because of the salary, but he has place differential and finishing potential baked in. Same with Ty Dillon in the 23R Motorsports car. He starts 30th. He has those place differential and finishing potential points baked in as well. I think Sam Mayer is also an interesting play. We've seen this JRM 8-car run well. Sam's still relatively new to the Xfinity series because he literally just turned 18. He's shown good speed. He's just kind of been making mistakes. So he's probably a boom or bust play, but he saves you a little bit of salary from a Ty Dillon or Josh Berry there. And then pretty much from Noah Gregson all the way down to Brandon Brown, it's pretty much going to be low interest for us just because they start a little bit too high. But one guy who I think is interesting is Brandon Jones. He has a little bit of place differential upside, and he might get overlooked for some of those more attractive PD plays. But is there anyone up here, Rich, that you're really looking to pair with Kyle Busch this weekend?
Outside of Ty Dillon, maybe Santino Ferrucci, he does offer a decent amount of place differential points there, starting 25th, and this 26th Sam Hunt car has actually been pretty quick all year. He's got top 15 upside, maybe a little bit better. So he offers a fair amount of place differential points and the finishing potential as well. So if you end up back up here at Santino, got no problems with him, but I'd probably try and pair either Ty Dillon or Josh Berry with Kyle Busch and then find value in the punt plays this week. And I will touch on Noah Graxson. He hasn't been great this year, but I still think that we're going to see him pick it up this second half of the year, and I would not be surprised to see him win a couple of races as we get closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, man, it's pretty straightforward up there, but I'll just move on to the 7K and down range. I think this is where you're really going to start to make your gravy. Just you try to get Josh Berry or Ty Dillon with Kyle, you're going to have to pretty much rest your line. It's going to be these guys to be able to get it to work. I think there's a lot of good plays in here, a lot of PD. But I'll start with Brett there at the top. Starting 20th, so offers you a good bit of PD. Should be able to run top 12, maybe get you a top 10. So it's a pretty good combination there of probably about 10 PD points plus 10th place finish. So that definitely will pay that salary off. And then Jeremy Clements as well is another guy I like in this. Just 7K is pretty cheap, starts 19th. So again, it's pretty similar to Brett. Offers you probably top 12, maybe top 10. So, and he's even cheaper. So same thing, but should pay off a little bit more when it comes to the price to points.
Yeah, it really depends on how you're building your lines. Because if you play Kyle Busch and then you jam in like Josh Berry and Ty Dillon, then it gets pretty much impossible to get back to this range. You have to find value. But if you play Kyle Busch and only play one of those guys, or maybe a guy priced below him, you can really start to get to this range that Kev was just talking about. And I think a lot of guys are going to go the first route. So I think a lot of these plays are going to be relatively lower owned. And if you're playing GPPs, which I know most of us are, you kind of have to be a little bit different sometimes. So maybe taking a risk on one of these guys who doesn't have maybe at the most amount of place differential points available, but they still have some. And I think the upside there is relatively similar. So for the 6K range, Jeffrey Earnhardt, I think, is interesting. He's a little bit overpriced, starting 37th. So he starts pretty much dead last, but $1,600 is a lot of money to pay for Jeffrey there. And then Colby Howard's another guy. Like he's in the same equipment as Jeffrey Earnhardt. He's just significantly cheaper and basically starts in the same spot. So I don't mind that play. But what about you, Rich? Do you like anyone 6K or I guess below? We can even get down to the punt range too.
Yeah, I like Colby Howard this week at $6,100, starting 36. He's got top 25 upside, and he's $800 cheaper than Jeffrey Earnhardt, which you're going to need salary savings if you're playing Kyle Busch. So definitely would lean Colby this week over Jeffrey. And I upped Ronnie Bassett's interest up to medium there. He starts 29th in a DGM car. He was in the same car at Texas and I think finished 22nd or around there, and he ran decently. So, and if he can get back up there, finish 22nd or get a top 20, that'd be a great day for him and this team, and that would be a solid day for DFS purposes as well. But I would definitely lean playing him in GPPs over any other contest type. But if we drop one down here below the 6K range, I'm not as interested in Bailey Curry this week. I do like both David Starr and Kyle Weatherman. They offer a great amount of place differential starting back in the 30s. David Starr's in the Hattori car this week. This car has been pretty quick every single time we've seen it on the track. He should have no problems moving on up through the field and paying off his price tag there at $5,100. And then Carson Ware, we've seen him in the 17 before, and he's actually run pretty decently. He starts 26. That does limit his upside a little bit, but he is only $4,700 this week. So if he can move up to 20th, 22nd, it would pay off his price tag and be more than enough. And you're going to need that playing Kyle Busch this week.
Yeah, man, I think this punt range isn't horrible this week. A lot of the guys that we kind of got listed as high are more or less starting last. So as long as they can run the whole race, they're going to gain a couple spots at the minimum. And then if they can, keep going, get a good run, get even a top 30, they're going to pay off their price range and allow you to get, maybe 3 of those high-end plays.
Yeah, the punt range is like Kev was saying, you're really going to have to go down here if you're playing Kyle Busch and some of those other top, place differential and finishing potential plays that we touched on earlier. But a lot of these guys start very far in the back. So anytime there's a wreck, they move forward. The biggest question, and I guess the biggest concern would be, is their car going to hold up, right? Because we've seen issues with a lot of these back marker cars having these mechanical issues, especially this is a week when you just unload and race. There's no practice. There's no time to work out any of the kinks or any of the potential issues. I forget what race it was, but one race there was 2 cars that didn't even make the pace laps because they were having mechanical issues even before taking the green flag. So that's always a risk with playing some of these guys. So don't go 100% or way over the field on just one of them. If you feel confident about 3 or 4 of them, just kind of sprinkle your ownership around accordingly. So that's going to do it for the Xfinity video. Our Cup video for Atlanta is up right now too. So make sure you check that one out when you're done watching this one, and we will catch you guys next week.